Hi, everyone. Okay, we are here with another very cool interview. We are realtors, but we actually are having a good time with these interviews. So, this is Christine Fletcher, who runs Bright Coaching, and she has been one of my best friends for about 25 years, which is a scary thought. And she is a professional iron woman in her past life and current life, and she's training people all over the world. And what's fascinating to me is your business has pretty much a lot of it been online regardless of the current environment. And because you train people all over the world, whether it be through motivation training, watching how they're doing in races, but how, because so many Ironmans have been canceled or postponed, or triathlons, what have you done to change your business in this time?
Yeah, so well, thank you for that introduction. And it is interesting because a lot of people ask me exactly that question, and we're still sort of waiting to hear how the endurance community is going to be affected by this virus, as every other community is as well. And what has transpired through all of this is that training for athletes and staying fit and healthy has become something that they can control in their lives, and that they can actually create routine around and structure around, despite all of the chaos going on in the world. So for a lot of people, they need that normalcy in their schedule. So instead of now preparing athletes for an event that now got pushed off to a future date, now what we're focusing on is keeping them healthy, keeping them strong, keeping some routine in their lives. And when we pop out of this, when the events get back on the schedule, they'll be ready for that. And hopefully they'll also be entering into other aspects of their life with more clarity, more perspective, feeling good about themselves, and ward off any mental, catastrophes that could happen if we go, down the drain through this pandemic that we're in. So in fact, my job has actually not, my job hasn't changed, and the way I work with athletes hasn't changed, but our language together has changed.
And what's an example of that?
An example would be somebody who was supposed to race, for example, this coming weekend, like today we're Friday, tomorrow, Saturday is supposed to be a half Ironman in California that is one of the longest running half Ironmans in the circuit. Many of my athletes were getting ready for it. So when everything started to get canceled, we quickly had to just shift focus, change their schedule now so that they weren't getting ramped up and refined for a race, but we were going back now to creating more base training sessions, more strength training, adapting sessions from now pool swimming, which we can't access any pools. So now we're doing a lot of stuff on dry land with swim bands and tubing and core work. And we are integrating a lot of parasympathetic training, which is actually bringing our system down, calming with yoga, mindfulness, meditation, so that they can ward off some of the chaos and excitement and negativity that's surrounding this. So the time in their day has been maintained for training, but the meaning of their training has changed. And a huge, which is happening across all fitness domains, is a huge escalation right now, is the virtual platform. So instead of people going for a bike ride with their friends, they're now riding in their garages, or they're joining online communities such as Zwift. Peloton is huge as well for more fitness people, and they're able to actually join up with friends in a virtual format.
And are your clients, like, how are they adapting to this change? Are you spending time talking to them? Like, how, they've been so conditioned to work in one way. How are they responding to this new transition?
Well, the reality is most people needed more time to train anyway. So if an athlete's event was in a month and now it's in 3 months or 4 months, I've said to all of them, you're in luck, because we needed more time to train you for that event. It's funny how, like, they sign up for something 6 months from now and they think it's so far away, and then all of a sudden it's a month, and we really could always use more time to get ready for an event. So that's changed. The real thing that the real some people did experience a bit of a lull, and this is where I've been able to connect with people and refocus and rejig their motivation towards preparing themselves as an athlete, which really takes on a whole new meaning outside of just preparing for an event. Now it's about their life. But the reality is most people, they were training already. So now instead of doing an outdoor ride, they're doing an indoor ride. But the time in their day was still scheduled for training. So what's really changed is everything else going on in their life. So they're not getting up to go to work. Their family's at home. Everything's taking place in a smaller space. And so now we have to adapt our mindset around that.
Hmm. In terms of your favorite podcast, online mentor, or Instagram person, who are you recommending to your clients to follow, or who are you following personally?
Well, right now for me, I think the biggest concern for people at large and endurance athletes, because endurance athletes, it's a solo endeavor anyways, largely, is the realm of mental health and then self-isolation. So people feeling isolated, and as the weeks go by, we're going to feel more and more of that loneliness feeling or that isolated feeling. So a lot of what I'm recommending right now to athletes relates to maintaining their mental health and their mental engagement and their connectivity to people. So, of course, I love Brene Brown, and I recommend Brene Brown to a lot of my female athletes. And then I also like Dr. Sanji, who has more of a health-focused podcast going. And he's written a number of books and been on a lot of other podcasts, and he's now just started his own. And he's fantastic. So usually a lot of the recommendations that I have people are not sport specific. They're about mindset specific stuff. And Instagram, oh my gosh, I don't know. There's a plethora of people out there right now. It's almost overwhelming. I think Lauren Fleshman is somebody who I think takes on. She is a U.S. Track runner, who is now a business person, a mom, a wife, and a coach. And she has an excellent perspective on sport, training, balance, family. And she actually has a podcast called Work, Play, Love that speaks to so many people, athletes, moms, and business owners, and I often recommend that.
That's great. So we'll have to get those names from you, and we'll put it on the end of this.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Christy. I know you have to do like another Zoom in 2 minutes, but it's so nice to see your face. We have to Zoom.
Yeah, more often. It's so great to see you guys, and I think these stories are amazing. Like, it's just so fun to have conversation,
Mm-hmm, for sure. What would you take away as your silver lining? We've been asking everybody that.
Oh, that's a great question. Connectivity, honestly. I mean, I know virtual connections is not the same as in-person connections, but and I live in a resort town, Mont-Tremblant, so I'm already far from civilization, so to speak. And then this pandemic, it's just really forced myself and other people to just connect in new and virtual ways. And I just feel like, we're almost getting back to our roots and maybe realigning our values a little bit.
I agree. And we're lucky to be quarantined in nice places, for sure.
Oh my gosh, for sure. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much, Chrissy.
Okay.
Have a fabulous day.
Bye.
Bye.